a revolutionary production system. I'm not sure what the right word is. Unboxing sounds like something like when you get your phone.
You open it up.
Yeah, so you have like a pleasant experience when you take your phone out of the box. But which of course is nice, but this is much more revolutionary than that. This is a profound reimagining of how to make cars in the first place. No car is made like this anywhere in the world. The factory is the product as much as the car is the product. So it's really just a first principles approach to manufacturing that will ultimately allow us, I think, I'm confident ultimately it'll allow us to achieve a cycle time, meaning a unit every 5 seconds or less off a single line.
And we want to incorporate some of these for testing it into our existing production lines as well, for those with the line Cybertruck already.
So this is something I've been thinking about for a long time, and I've been thinking about this for a long time, and it's kind of, it's not a crazy thing. Like a car every 5 seconds may sound like it's coming out like bullets, but actually it's coming out at walking speed.
It's like a meter a second.
A meter a second. So this is like we're still far away from caring about the aerodynamic drag of the manufacturing line. You know, because you're still at 3 miles an hour technically.
It doesn't make up.
You know, every 5 seconds sounds crazy, but it's 3 miles an hour. What we're talking about. Yeah, you can run away from it basically. But that's still by far the fastest line on Earth. You know, and it's like half order meg. Like kind of. What's like the best single line on Earth? It's like about
Shanghai Phase 2.
And that's us?
33 seconds.
Yes.
And we're the fastest, right?
I would think so.
We think we're the fastest at 33 seconds in our Shanghai factory, but this would be 6 times faster or 7 times faster thereabouts. So it'll be slower than that at first, but the point is that like when you fully optimize the design and operation of the next generation factory that we're building right now, a 5 second cycle time or less is the design is capable of it. You know, so if you like when you go through like a radical new architecture, you go from like being like an A. I mean, I'd say like probably Shanghai in particular is an A+ on a moderately, an advanced but still traditional car production system. Sort of, they're really doing about as good as possible to do within a conventional scenario. So trying to get much below, the sort of below like 30 seconds, extremely difficult. But if not, and you start getting into sort of impossible, where you have to be faster than a human could possibly move. So then the autonomous line, it really just needs to be robust, moving really fast, and that's where you get to sub 5 seconds. But we'll start off with at getting a C instead of an A, getting a C in a new architecture. But then the potential is there over time to move that up to an A+ within an A+ architecture.
So more good stuff from Lars right there, with Elon also adding some good context. I hope that Tesla releases footage of the unboxed manufacturing in action at some point, because I think we'd all love to see that. I certainly would. I mean, they might not put it out when it's still running at half speed, or I guess likely even less than half speed to start with, especially on these test builds. But I hope that at some point they do publicly show that off, because that would just be a really, really cool thing to see, especially at full speed when it's fully up and running. Up next now, a direct question upvoted by retail shareholders about whether or not the order rate has been affected by all of the circumstances surrounding Tesla over the last little while, which I think was a smart way to word the question on the retail shareholders' behalf, meaning to compliment them, since it does take into account, the phrasing of it takes into account the changeover to the new Model Y. So here is the response to that.
So in Q1, as mentioned earlier, we took the best-selling car of the last 2 years and ramped up all 4 of our global factories. And in less than 8 weeks, we've already gotten to the rate of our previous Model Ys in the factories. So just kudos again to the team for the great job there. And despite the economic strain and negative articles that in California in Q1, Tesla remained the best-selling car, not just EV. And additionally, we had a record number of test drives globally in Q1 as well. So interest remains high. And so right now we continue to see, good interest still in the vehicle.
Yeah, I mean, Tesla's not immune to sort of the macro demand for cars. You know, so when there is economic uncertainty, people generally want to pause on buying, doing a major capital purchase like a car. But as far as absent macro issues, we don't see any reduction in demand.
Correct, and that's where we continue to focus on affordability, and it's a fun focus there.
Yeah.
Well, it's super cool to hear that they had a record number of test drives in Q1. They were certainly doing their best to get people behind the wheel of the 3, the Y, the Cybertruck. They were sending out a lot of marketing emails, which, hey, why not? I mean, there's no harm in those. You can always unsubscribe if you don't want them. So, yeah, it's really neat to hear that they had a record number of test drives. And I imagine the new Model Y really fueled a lot of that. I mean, the Cybertruck a bit, because they were certainly pushing the Cybertruck quite a bit too. But, yeah, the new Model Y, that's the car. You test drive the new Model Y. I think you're going to be hard-pressed to choose anything else in its category. And if you have an old Model Y, like if you're an existing Tesla owner, the new Y is probably going to tempt a lot of upgrades. But anyway, I'm glad that they don't feel like there's any kind of demand issue outside of, as Elon had kind of put it there, the macro environment headwinds. All right, now we move on to the last few clips. I've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 more clips for you. I promise these are shorter clips. These are from the institutional analysts, and the first one here is about a 2-minute clip, and it's about what's still required software-wise for unsupervised FSD. And I wasn't gonna play this until I heard what to me was a particularly interesting bit near the end of it. Take a listen.
Yeah, I mean, we are aware of the interventions that are happening in the public bills, and that's why we are hardcore burning it down. And really just picking some initial launch city helps us focus on like solving all the issues that we face here. For example, like we're focusing on Austin, we're not like solving all the issues that customers in Boston or somewhere else might face. And then here we just have a big list of all the issues, just burn it down, and that's what the team is working on, along with other sort of like redundancy issues. For example, if one of the computers goes down right now in the customer fleet, it would like throw the red hands and ask you to take over, but we don't want that kind of situation. So you're solving both like the reliability issues of the autonomy software and also the reliability issues of the system software together for Austin.
Yeah, we just worked through a long tail of unusual interventions. And these are really very rare. Like as I was saying earlier, intervention every 10,000 miles. I mean, that's a lot of driving you've got to do to even find one case where that happens.
Yeah, and some interventions are systematic, missing functionality. For example, for handling emergency vehicles correctly, you don't need to consume audio as an input. But then the customer-facing versions don't have audio input, but the version that's going to be in Austin will have audio input and so on.
Okay, but would you have like remote operators, for example?
I mean, every now and then, if a car gets stuck or something, someone will unblock it. But it's just because we are a bit conservative and tend towards more safety than even if we get stuck every now and then. We do have remote support, but it's not going to be required for safe operation. If anything, it's just required for more availability.
Anyway, it's only a couple months away, so you can just see it for yourself in a couple months in Austin.
I wonder how remote operation is going to work. I mean, I guess I can surmise how it's going to work. Presumably it's through the car's cellular data connection, and then the remote operator just uses the car's cameras to get the car out of whatever little edge case tough spot that it's in. And Waymo has this too, of course. I mean, you have to really, lest a customer literally gets stuck somewhere if the car, can't do what it needs to do. So as for how quickly the robotaxi fleet will scale, here's the response to a question about that.
We're still debating the exact number to start off on day one, but it's like, I don't know, maybe 10 or 20 vehicles on day one. We watch it carefully, then scale it up rapidly after that. So, we want to make sure that we're paying very close attention the first time this happens. But yeah, you'll be able to, end of June or July, just go to Austin and order a Tesla autonomous drive.
10 to 20 cars in all of Austin on the first day. I presume that those